It's Christmas on the Galleon with all of the folks you know. Welcome aboard, mateys. Welcome once again to the Gaming Galleon. I'm Captain Raz. Woo, boy. And we're all up against it these days, aren't we? No matter what you're celebrating, or if you're celebrating anything at all, you're up against it. This is a time for deadlines and a time for coming together. And all that hubbub is coming to an end very soon. It is the 23rd of December, which means tomorrow is gut check time if you're celebrating the holiday of Christmas. You have to get everything wrapped, you have to get everything bought, and you have to show up so that you can see everyone open your gifts and hope beyond hope that it's something that makes their day a little brighter. Well, I'm a rather blessed pirate because I have a lot of people out there who are looking out to make sure that my Christmas is bright. And I can't think of a better gift than that. Today, we're going to be taking it easy. With any well-laid plans, there's always issues, right? Always. For one thing, I announced that we're going to be doing a voyage on the 23rd a week ago. And the very next day after I'd set that date in stone, I was struck down by the elements. And for the next 72 hours, I was on a Dayquil and NyQuil cocktail. There were chills, there were hot spots, sneezing, phlegm, the whole shebang. I don't think I've been that sick in years. Even the little creature comforts, like an advent calendar, fell to the wayside as I stayed underneath the covers in robes and layers, sweating, falling in and out of consciousness. All the while thinking, how in heaven's name are we going to get that boat in the water in 6 days, 5 days, 4 days? But here we are. It's all come together. As I said, it's the 23rd, and according to this advent calendar that our friend Floofasnarf was nice enough to give us a year ago, believe it or not. We've only got one more day until the big one. Inside this advent calendar is all coffee. And on the 23rd, I opened it early so that we could brew the coffee inside. We have Kahlua coffee. Luckily, I don't have to drive after this voyage. Let's have a little bit of this here. We got it all brewed up. Kahlua. Thank you, Floof. So as the days continued on, I was able to stave off most of the illness. A racking cough still hangs with me 6 days later. The kind of cough that you can hear bubbling in your lungs as you lie down and try and have a fitless sleep. Or is it a fitful sleep? Fitful. But it all came together well enough So that by yesterday, as I tried to put everything together for our voyage, I bundled up and braved the cold of the Indiana air to go from my home to the Galleon itself. I fired up the lights, and once I got into the ship, a hot flash hit me. I'd been getting used to this, and I immediately stripped down to my skivvies as I began to get things rolling here, trying to determine and tell the navigator where we would be going for this venture, checking to make sure that the booty is situated just right, and of course, assembling the Tannenbaum. It was going quite well, considering all the setbacks. And that is when I got a summons from one of our crewmen. He happened to get a hold of me on the hotline and say, "Captain Raz, this is Zadrian. Are you aware that you've been on the air, direct and live from the Galleon, for the past 20 minutes? Now, I'm not a modest man. Did I have issue with people seeing me run around with my shirt off? Not particularly. Not really an issue. However, there was something far more devastating that was revealed during these 20 minutes. Something that in all the history of our many voyages has ever happened. Where we dock next, no one knows until that faithful evening. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. In addition to seeing me in the raw, those who were spying in the shadows could see the game that I had planned for this very voyage. Everything was coming together so well until this fatal mistake. And once I wiped the records, I realized, despite it being late, despite me being sick, despite me having to be at work this morning, we would have to start once again from scratch, rebuilding a voyage. Why didn't you just play the game that we saw? Why didn't you just see it? Why didn't you just play it? Because where we dock next, no one knows. So there may be a few of you out there feeling a little smug, feeling in a bit of a seat of power, thinking, I know where we're going, as he sings that song. We're playing Penguin Land. We're not. Penguin Land had to be scrapped. As much as it broke my heart, it would have been wonderful to play Penguin Land on a Christmas voyage, a game that has vexed me for years. And if any crew members have been around, they've seen it happen. I think everyone would have gotten a chuckle. But the magic, the integrity, the unknown simply must be preserved. So it was back to square one. The only thing I had established at that point was the booty. So the middle of the show. The booty is still in great shape. We've got a chest full of stuff to go through, and we even have something underneath the tree. We'll be checking that at the bottom of the hour. So I came up with a game, came up with a location. Some crewmen were nice enough to send via carrier pigeon a couple of letters to throw into the bag that tells no tales. We'll see that at the end of the show. And as for a monologue, you're looking at it. But hey, that's Christmas, right? That's the holidays. You can plan all year for that perfect moment, and something could make you have to do a 180 last minute, right? But you do it. If that person you're buying a present for, if that person you're taking out for on a special day doesn't seem to be catching that magic, you do what you can to rectify it. And I felt it was my duty as the captain to, rather than just hand wave and say, few people know what game's coming up, I felt it was my duty to make sure even those select few had just as much magic waiting underneath the deck as anyone else who comes aboard this Christmas season. So, without further ado, we are going to the snowy peaks of Mount Gundabad. The ship sits right on the side of the mountain, awaiting our avatars who are frigid, sitting on the path waiting for us to join them. And we will explore this snowy peak together in the hopes that we can give these party members the same thing that we all look for on important days where family gathers, such as Christmas. Let's try our best to get these 3 party members home. We're going to be playing for the Xbox 360 The Lord of the Rings War in the North. Let's get started. Bring your snowshoes. Onward! Alright, here's a good idea as to where we are here. There's Mount Gundabad. If you know anything about the Tolkien universe, it's a lot farther north than Frodo and the gang had their intrepid adventure. This long mountain range, that's where Moria sits, but Moria sits a lot farther south than our party. Therin, Andril, and what's the other guy? What's the ranger's name? I just forget his name. Let's see. Forgot it here. I did. Aridin, Andril, and Therin. Right. Okay. Anyway, let's zoom in on them and see how they're doing. They are right on the path, and they're just waiting for us. Our Andril is in the middle there. Aridin is all the way in the back. He's got a bow and arrow, and we will be taking on the role of Therin. They have been out on the road for a long time. You can see that little anvil in the upper right left-hand corner. That means that a lot of Therin's armor is dinged up, and all these guys want to do is find a warm hearth and home. Let's see if we can help them with that. How are we doing on time? No earthly idea. Great start, guys. So, War in the North, Lord of the Rings, War in the North. Massive game for me. Good company. Works it out. Got more coming. This is a game that was made by a company called Snowblind Studios, which, in my opinion, was a developer that really is responsible to this day for the finest in couch co-op action role-playing games. They were responsible for the Dark Alliance series of Dungeons and Dragons games for console, which took a more gauntlet-like approach to gaming. What we got here? Let's see, a helmet. Oh, an eagle feather and a scepter. Okay. Looks like we're crossing over. You guys coming? I guess. You're only allowed to... I don't know, maybe I can control other players? I'm not entirely sure about that. I generally just play as Farron. Usually in action role-playing games, I like to... Oh my god, I killed the phone. I have not gone farther into this, so I don't really know it's occupied. What to expect. But Snowblind Studios, they created the Dark Alliance games. There were 2 of them in console. Eventually, Sony America tapped them to create Champions of Norrath series, which was, again, more of a kind of gauntlet type game. Get up there. Oh! So yeah, Champions of Norrath was 4-player couch and online. It was the full package, and then that was PlayStation 2 era. Eventually PlayStation 3 came around. It was Snowblind's job to, I mean, they'd already done Dungeons and Dragons wonderfully. They'd already done EverQuest with Champions of Norrath to the T's. And now they had a chance to take on the Tolkien universe. I couldn't have been more excited about it. Not only were we looking at them doing a three-dimensional adventure, where are you going? Could this be home? It looks dwarven, but it also looks like it's been besieged. Is there a troll there? What's inside? I do want to try there. I think we found home. Or at least Hearth. We'll have to find out later, though, huh? Let's head back. We'll see what lies beyond. Not doing too bad so far. It's a fantastic game that, unfortunately, due to some auto saving issues, made the game far less flexible than most action role-playing games, where you're used to replaying levels over and over and over as much as you like to kind of, loot up, level up. They were more concerned about the adventure moving forward. They were more concerned about this being a Tolkien universe, this being adventurers, pushing through savage, enemy-filled lands. They were very concerned about keeping that integrity alive with this campaign, which would have been wonderful had the network for this game been better maintained. And as a result, many people who spent time with War in the North, devoting time to their characters, to finding loot, to building their characters in their own specific need, with their own specific needs in mind, they found themselves being ruined, corrupted by the autosave at some point. Some people finding themselves getting 10 hours into the game and then the autosave stopping them or not loading the next level correctly, and rather than being able to reload their account, the autosave had already stopped them from going out the back door, and it did not go over well. Snowblind never fixed this via online patches, and henceforth got a very bad reputation. I mean, this is Tolkien we're talking about here. Not exactly an underground license, and I don't think that Snowblind ever recovered, sadly. Very tragic tale, and this was their final game. When it works, it's magnificent, but not exactly the brightest swan song. So let's bring things back up and check out some booty, okay? So in the chest here, I have what I found on Black Friday. I went out with my sister. Always our tradition after Thanksgiving is to go out to Black Friday, not necessarily to pick up the deals, more just to enjoy the culture, get some designer coffee, travel around town, maybe hit some thrift stores, maybe some cheaper stores, some of the big stores, just to walk around mainly, though. Our main hits are as far as big stores are Target and Best Buy, but then we'll hit things like St. Vincent's thrift store or Goodwill, things of that nature, and just make a day of it. I didn't find I actually did okay. Found some stuff that was cheap and was enough worthy, in my opinion, to pick up. So let's take a look, and we'll take a look at that, and then we'll see what's underneath the tree. Okay? Alright, here we go. So, the first place that I went to, I think, we came across an auction, a cosign kind of place, where this is just people have booths where they just take their stuff and they rent out a booth in this big warehouse kind of setting, and they just throw their stuff in it. There's just, as far as games, you're just finding overpriced stuff, so nothing really to speak of there. But I think that I found this one DVD set, and I'd never seen. My sister, I knew she liked it, and I thought it was cheap enough that I'd give it a go. So here we are. I'd never seen this before, and I believe this was half off. So for $1.50, we found Strong Bad, Email, The the first 100 Strong Bad emails. So Strong Bad was, I guess, a web show about this guy who's really mad, who has boxing gloves and a wrestling mask on, and people send him emails, and then he just writes back. Sounds like a basic premise, but it worked. I mean, if it worked for Dear Abby. Looked like a pretty nice, decent little set here. 3 discs, kind of charming. I know that we've had the video game for Strong and Bad on the show a long, long time ago. We didn't do a show, we found it for PC on disc, which was kind of neat. Maybe I'll find these amusing. I have not seen them yet, but I figure for $1.50. We'll put it on the shelf, we'll see it eventually. As far as, then we went to this place, St. Vincent Thrift Store, and they did pretty good for us. We ended up finding, hitting all the big ones. We found video games. We'll start there. This one was, everything was half off. So this one was $2. It's got a tag here, $3.99, $2. Monster Jam. Got the Gravedigger on there. It's the actual game. That's a good start. Okay. And let's see. 20 monster trucks. It's 2 to 4 players, but everyone's got to have their own cartridge. Darn it. I love when DS games have, you know, multiplayer options where only one person needs the cart. That's not the case here, unfortunately. But we didn't have this one. It's got Gravedigger on it. And they claim that the multiplayer is exciting. How can we go wrong? Alright, what do we got here? Tiger Woods PGA 11 for the Wii. It says it was $1.99 originally, so this was $1. And what grabbed me on this one, you see these a lot, but what sold me on this was there's a picture on the back that it appears to me, you see this picture here? It almost looks like that belongs on the monster truck box. Not Tiger Woods. So if we read a little closer here, I think it says, play the classic family fun game of mini golf on 4 exciting themed courses. Or, oh look, this appears to be online only. This couldn't be. You think this is online only? Maybe. Or challenge friends online in disc golf. So in addition to the golf, which, you know, most people go on and on about Tiger Woods golf, I won't bore you with that. It's got mini golf, and it's got frisbee golf. Well, I don't know if I can play frisbee golf on this, but any game that has mini golf, I'm usually a sucker for. So there we go. Tiger Woods PGA 11. Okay. All right, let's get these back in here. What's going on with this advent calendar? What do we got? Is it the 23rd? 24 Days of Christmas, 24 Assorted Truffles by Chauzer. What a wonderful winter wonderland. Where are we at here? 23. Do you see it? Can you find the 23? Where's it at? Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think I see it. Let's see what we got. It's chocolate. It's delectable. Pretty much looks like every other one I pulled out here this month, but hey. Delicious. Alright. Also at St. Vincent's, we found some cassette tapes. And they were quite cheap. It says here they were 99 cents. Everything in the store was half off, so we got the cassette tapes for 50 cents each. I found a couple of Christmas ones, so we had to get those. Bing Crosby, Merry Christmas, which has my favorite Christmas song of all time, Christmas in Killarney. Spectacular song. And then Twisted Christmas. I can't speak for the quality of this one. Bob Rivers. Ever hear of Bob Rivers? I don't know that I have, but he looks like he's ready to get wacky. Let's see let's see if any of his songs. Okay, you got the 12 Pains of Christmas. You got We Wish You Weren't Living With Us. Bob, you're killing me. Oh Come All Ye Grateful Deadheads. And of course the restroom door said gentlemen. Alright, moving on. We have some more traditional out of season cassettes that I usually curate my cassette collection to somewhere between 1978 and 1992. I think we came up with some pretty iconic hits here, considering just random pulls from a thrift store. Let's see what we got. I haven't looked at these since I got them on Black Friday, so I don't really remember what they are. I think I remember one of them. All right, what's this? This is it. This is the one I remember. Madonna as Breathless Mahoney in Dick Tracy, the what's the word I'm looking for? The femme fatale in the movie. Music from and inspired by the film. So does that mean she did like some original stuff for the movie and then some she was just so inspired she made more for the movie? I don't know. Wow, how do you leave this behind? Cheap Trick. Cheap Trick. Woke up with a monster. Woke up with a monster. So now is the clown the monster in this scenario, or is it the fetching young lady here? I guess we'll have to listen to find out. What do we got here? What's that? Oh boy, I don't know who these people are. More Cheap Trick. More Cheap Trick. I'd rather not wake up with either of these monsters. What album is this? Lap of Luxury. Okay. Double Cheap Trick. I don't even know what song they do. What songs do they do? I guess I'll have to listen and find out. I just knew that they were from that era, so they were in. Heart. Wow. Heart has some great stuff. This is Dreamboat Annie. This is also previously released recordings. I didn't realize that. Does that mean this isn't an actual album? Not entirely sure. I usually like to stick with actual albums, not like greatest hits. So who knows what to look that one up. And then, oh my god, this is great. One of my personal favorite cassettes in my collection is B-52 cassette. Here's a second one. The B-52's bouncing off the satellites. I think the other one I have is something having to do with Egypt, Mesopotamia. That's a great album. I have a feeling this one's going to be just as good. So this is pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. So those are 50 cents each. We got 5, 6, 7. Let's not forget the Christmas ones. So 9 of them. 50 cents each. What's that work out to? Oh boy, the gear's really grinding. $4.50. Okay, thanks a lot. Not bad at all. And then we had one more thing from there, kind of round things out. We had video games, cassettes. How about a board game? For $2, this guy was sitting here. I saw the spine and I couldn't say no. Funko Games, 2 to 4 players. Godzilla! How about that, huh? This was $2. Not too bad. Oh my god, all your favorites are here. Look at that. I just played Gigabash for the first time with a friend of mine, Angry Hoosier. This is basically that. Not to date the hell out of this, but well, it's Christmas. Let's see what's inside here. Oh boy. It's in pretty good shape. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, we got some figures here. Like a little bug guy. Well, he's a big bug guy, right? Okay. I mean, this booty's got it all. Video games, music, toys. Come on. Godzilla? Godzilla! He's eating the Tannenbaum. Ugh. Alright. Sorry. Mothra. Oh my god, look at that. Looks like a pepperoni pizza. Awesome. Awesome. And then three-headed dragon. Pretty cool. All the pieces seem to be here. It does not appear as if it's ever been played. I mean, it's the Midwest. What do you expect? Can barely get our head around Porchese around these parts. The downside, I'll show you. It was $2, right? Apparently it was a return from Amazon. Oh my god! Oh, not on Christmas. Heartbreaking. If only you would put on something decent, Godzilla, they wouldn't have had to censor you. Anyway, looks pretty fun. There you go. So that's it. There you have it. That was Black Friday. We did pretty good, I'd say. But now for the really exciting part, the real Christmas part of the voyage. Someone out there was nice enough to send us a present. I don't know what it is. I know it came from the Amazon, so that's interesting. I wonder if it had to go through customs, you know, for shots or something. Anyway, this comes from our friend Yar's Revenge Fan. And incidentally, we have a special hats off to Yars, because if he didn't send something, maybe I would have been selfish enough to not even take the boat out. I'd like to think that I would have figured it out regardless, but credit is where credit's due, and as soon as that showed up, I knew, well, I better contact the pirates. Let's get ready. So let's see what's underneath the tree. Let's see what Yars was nice enough to send us. Okay. It's addressed simply to Capitan Raz. Very formal. Not exactly sure what's in it. Seems light, but that may be all the bubble wrapping. There we go. Alright. Let's make sure this isn't a letter or something. Keep your gift a surprise. Unwrap your present before opening this envelope. Okay. Here we go. Oh, there's a little bag. Okay. There's the real wrapping. How sweet. Looks like there's a card here. Captain Raz, this year for Christmas, I am giving you the gift of no excuses as to why you cannot watch this series. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Yar's Revenge Fan. Let's open it up. I have an inkling as to what this is. Hawkeye! The First Frontier. Wow. How exciting. It's the French-American War. The middle of America is still under contention. Only one man stands for justice in a savage America. Hawkeye. Who's the girl again? Linda Carter. Right. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to have to wrap the show. I better get started. Okay? No excuses. Thank you, Yars. The complete series. I can't believe they all got this on the... That's great. I've seen a few of these. Apparently it really resonated with yours because he's been on me for 2 years. Get back on it, bro. Come on. If you don't finish the series, you and I can't partner up to make that fan site. It's a step in the right direction. Thank you, Yars. It's very sweet. Thanks for thinking of me. And thank you for making this all possible. Alright. Let's play a little more War in the North. I believe we have found Hearthenholm. So what we'll do here is explore the halls of Nordabarg, I believe is what it's called. Maybe meet some of the local culture. And then we'll come back, hit the mailbag. Okay? Alright. It's The Lord of the Rings, War in the North, for the Xbox 360. Wake up, you. Hawkeye? How many seasons is that? Doesn't matter. It's the complete series. It's the entire history of Hawkeye. Alright, here we go. Wait a minute. This place looks beat up. Are you okay? What happened? Have you been ravaged? Okay. Good for you. Are you okay? We're back. Oh, what's down there? Look at this, an eagle. We'll go down there in a second. No, let's go see. Let's see the eagle. One of the coolest things about War of the North, they're in the Tolkien universe, at least the traditional stories. The eagles aren't too well spotlit. In this, an eagle plays a pivotal role in the story. Uh-oh. Sorry, there's your audio.
Yes, Gundabad endures. The enemy has retreated.
How long have I been here like this?
Not long. Rest easy now. You must save your strength.
Where are Berenthor and Armanel?
They're both dead, killed by the same blast that nearly got you.
Must you be so blunt? You might have told him more gently.
No words could make this news any less bitter. They were friends, and they died under my command. It is a heavy burden to bear. But what of Agandar? Was he too slain in battle, or does he yet live?
Agandaur did not lead the assault. He must still be at Khorne Dûm.
Then we must seek for him there. Armanel and Berenthor must be avenged.
You gotta rest. You've done your part. Agandaur is like the big bad Sauron of the North.
There's no doubting your courage, Belron. But courage won't heal wounds. We've got to go on. But you will have to stay here.
Yes. It is clear I cannot accompany you now. And if you delay, others may die. I will not be responsible for that. Go, with my blessing upon you, friends.
Farewell.
Farewell, brave one. We'll miss your company, but I expect to see you strong and healthy when we get back. Don't you dare disappoint me.
That's pretty cool. So, yeah, the eagles are really neat. The other two he was asking about were also eagles under his command, and they fell in battle. first things first, we don't have too much time, but let's at least get our equipment repaired if we can. Looks like the orcs are really overran this place. Can you fix me up? This one here. Repair. Oh, okay. What am I wearing? This one I'm wearing. So this is typical, you know, role-playing addiction here. And there are some ways to get repaired on the road, but I never really enjoyed doing that. Again, kind of that Tolkien. They're stuck on the road. They're stuck with whatever they have. Look at this thing. Oh, it's not as good as the mace I'm using. Oh, look at these pants are completely wrecked. Let's see if I can get these fixed up. Yeah, these are okay. What's in the water there? So this is all underground, obviously. Dwarven fortress. Wonderful backgrounds can be seen in this, with lots of nods to, you know, the books and lore of this game. I think that if you played this on, say, you know, PC now, I would like to think that these games have been repaired, at least for players on the computer. Whether or not you could play them online, they were designed to be played 3-player. But I don't know. Snowblind, the developer, just kind of mucked it up, and some real network issues came about as a result. But there is split screen. You can play this with another friend, so that's an option. It's just a game that's hard to recommend, though, because it is kind of murky as to, is it all going to fall apart on you? You know, the whole game is kind of like a house of cards, and if you don't research correctly, you may lose all your progress, and there's nothing more heartbreaking than that. So the king is probably send us off to go and find Agendour in the location that Belaram mentioned. So we're not going to go off on that conversation. We'll keep our campaign here, our quest here, because we really did what we needed to do, which was to get Farron and Andoril and I never remember this ranger's name. So thank God there's a manual. They don't do this for you anymore. Aridin. We've gotten the three lights home, or at least away from enemy lines for now, so they, much like us for our holidays, can enjoy them in safety. So we'll leave it there. A game that is cautiously recommended. Lord of the Rings: War in the North. And frankly, I'm a little surprised we got them home at all. Sometimes you're just stuck out there on the road forever. As soon as I found snow, I stopped playing. So luckily there was a way into the mountain for our party. All right, we have a mailbag to open up. We'll get to that in a moment, because we're going to do one thing before the mailbag. I'll be right back. Alright, who's ready? Who's ready for an advent calendar trifecta? It's the most wonderful time for a beer! Okay? Boy, if this isn't going to make me relapse, I don't know what is. Alright, the 23 is pretty obvious. It's got a big bell there. Okay? Who knows what's inside? This thing, talk about hit or miss. Look, I've been sick. I've been out of town. I've opened maybe a fourth of these. Maybe. Over the past month. It's still quite heavy. Okay, I'll be drinking this into February. But, the ones that I have had have ranged from very good to, 2 sips and I had to dump it. So, it's easily the most inconsistent advent calendar of the trifecta. Let's see what we got. Okay, can you tell what's in there? Let's get it out. Okay. What is it? What do you got? Belgian white ale. It's a bloody blue moon. Alright, let's drink it. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. We got a glass here. So a little pour going. I haven't had a beer since I got sick, and to be honest, I'm pretty worried. Okay? About drinking any of this, but here we go. We'll open this sucker up, and then we'll get to the real cream. The questions in the mailbag, okay? There we go. Here we go. Got a mailbag. Happy to be here. Jesus. Okay. Got a couple questions here. Wait, let's do that one next. There we go. Okay. I have awaited an answer to my question for quite some time. If Pinbot for the Nintendo Entertainment System, one of the original 12 Dirty Dozen games, been given an objective, much like the games featured in seasons presently do, what would the goal to take the top of the board be? 1,000 Hazoys. Photo. P.S. How we doing on months? Interesting question. The Dirty Dozen is an event that we hold here on the ship every February. Last year's Dirty Dozen is currently adorning the Christmas tree. We had 12 PlayStation games last year with a scoreboard and competition. But that was not always so. In the inception of the Dirty Dozen, there were only 2 brave souls. Only 2 who were brave enough to pioneer that trail and say, I will only play 12 video games for a month. I don't need to play Winback 2 for the PlayStation 2 or Indy 500 for the Atari 2600 or Frogger for the Intellivision. No, I'll only play 12 games, and one of them, during that brave new world, was Pinbot. Since it was only a competition between 2, score seemed a worthy objective. And in most cases, that's how pinball would sensically, logically work. But if I were to choose the objectives, and I do, I think I would have looked at Pinbot not just as a pinball game, but a pinball galaxy. Ever pushing forward toward the sun itself. And so I probably would have said that the person who could reach the sun or get the closest to it without burning up would henceforth top the board. As for a designation, because if you do manage to complete the objective better than anyone else in the Dirty Dozen, traditionally you earn a designation. Well, I have to admit, it's been a very long week. And I just got the question yesterday. And I tried to sit down a couple times before this broadcast and really come up with a proper designation for that objective. And that is still lost. That is still lost in the mysteries of the universe. So that's what you have to do, though. Whoever could get the closest to the sun in Pinbot. And if we're talking a tie, 2 people make it to the sun, then it would have to be score. But you'd have to start all the way back at Pluto every game, and you work your way to the center of the solar system. That would be it. Thank you for the question, Photop. I only regret I wish I had more time to give it a properly fleshed out answer. That'll be something that we'll be musing about on the Galleon for eons to come. I have one final question here. Merry Christmas. Letter, I should say. Merry Christmas, Captain and crew. I'm sitting here keeping myself warm with a nice mug of piping hot cocoa and a plate of pizzellas. Not sure I know what that is. This has me wondering, what is your favorite seasonal treat or drink during the holidays? Your friend, the Count. That's pretty easy. there used to not be a name for this. It seems as if it's become more commonplace, so I will utilize it. Charcuterie. Charcuterie. The art of putting a whole bunch of little snacks onto a board in pleasing ways and then setting it out. I love that. Especially the salty stuff. You know, the gherkins. The little meats. The cheeses. The olives. You know what I'm saying? I could live on charcuterie. I don't understand why they don't have charcuterie drive-through. Seems like an untapped market to me. Maybe they're worried that, you know, you'd get it in the car and then it would just fall all over the place. I don't know. A drink? I mean, it depends on the time of day. Coffee in the morning, booze in the afternoon, right? No real preference. Not this. Certainly not this. Anyway. That's it. Thank you, Fodub and Count Pupper, for the questions. Thank you, Yours Revenge, for sending me Hawkeye. And thank each and every one of you for having just a small little piece of your heart set aside for the Soul Ship of Fools. It means the world. I think that's it, my friends. I think that's all she wrote. Here on Mount... better get this right. Hold on. Mount Gundabad. We're going to get the ship back in the air once the storm's clear. I'm going to get myself back to Indianapolis. I'm going to get up before dawn and do what I have to do to keep life going. And then it's on the road at dawn. On the road to hearth, home, family, and all the deadlines and pressure and magic that come with it. Whatever you plan to do in the next 48 hours, I hope you do it well, and I hope it finds you well. And we'll see you next time. Not sure where, not sure when, but I know one thing is for sure. Wherever we go next time, and whatever we do, we're going to do it together. So until then, my friends, what did I do to ye fair Spanish maidens? For what did I do, ye ladies of Spain? For we received orders to watch Hawkeye, the complete series. And lo nevermore shall we see ye again. Keep your powder dry, mateys.